If you open social media in early January 2026, there was one name that was almost impossible to avoid. Not because of a scandal, nor due to cheap controversy, but because of a quietly intensifying global discussion. Who is the most handsome man in the world today? Amid timelines filled with opinions, analyses, and cross-continental debates, one name consistently returned to the very top with nearly unmatched regularity: Kim Taehyung, better known as V of BTS. Discussions about handsomeness are often dismissed as trivial, mere light entertainment or fuel for fan wars. Yet in a digital era driven by data, algorithms, and global cultural influence, handsomeness has evolved into something far more complex. It has become a symbol of visual power, cross-cultural appeal, and the ability to shape global perception without having to speak much at all. And it is precisely at this point that Kim Taehyung stands, not merely as the winner of lists, but as a new definition of what it means to be the most handsome in the modern era. The list of the 10 most handsome men on the planet in early 2026 was compiled from an accumulation of international indicators, surveys by global fashion magazines, cross-country Google Trends search data, social media engagement across multiple platforms, and AI-based facial analyses used by aesthetic media and visual science outlets. Big names from Hollywood, the Western music industry, Bollywood, and East Asia all appeared on the list. Yet when all the data were compiled and analyzed, Kim Taehyung once again claimed the #1 position, not by a narrow margin, but with a significant gap in influence. What makes Taehyung's position compelling is not merely that he won, but how he won. There was no aggressive campaign,
No excessive promotion.
no systematic effort to dominate the conversation. On the contrary, every time his name appeared, global search data spiked organically. Every simple post, every public appearance, every minimally filtered portrait instantly became a global talking point. In a world saturated with visual noise, Taehyung possesses something rare: the power to command attention without having to shout. Visually, Kim Taehyung's face has long been the subject of analysis in various aesthetic media. His strong yet soft jawline, expressive eyes with striking emotional depth, well-proportioned nose, and facial symmetry, often described as close to classical artistic standards, have repeatedly placed him at the top of golden ratio analyses. Yet stopping at numbers and proportions alone would be a profound injustice to Taehyung's appeal. There is something that cannot be fully measured by AI or charts: an aura. Taehyung's aura is often described as a blend of mystery and warmth. In one moment, he can appear like a living work of art. In the next, he transforms into a warm figure laughing freely. This expressive flexibility is what keeps photographers, directors, and world-class fashion houses coming back to him. In front of the camera, Taehyung does not merely pose. He tells a story. Every gaze seems to carry a narrative. Every facial expression feels intentional yet natural. The global fashion industry has long recognized this power. Taehyung is not just a brand ambassador, but a figure capable of reshaping public perception of a label. When he wears something, the item does not merely sell, it becomes a style symbol. Yet interestingly, his influence never feels forced. He does not try to be a trendsetter. The world follows him. Park Seo Joon, a top South Korean actor and Taehyung's close friend, has personally witnessed the extraordinary nature of V's visual appeal even off-camera. In various interviews and casual moments, Park Seo Joon has candidly shared how Taehyung often draws attention in public spaces without consciously doing anything. Not because of excessive styling or contrived behavior, but because of his strong and natural presence. This testimony is particularly meaningful because it comes from someone who himself stands at the peak of Korea's entertainment industry's visual standards. However, what truly elevates Taehyung to the #1 position is not just his face. Handsomeness in the modern era demands depth, and this is where Taehyung's heart speaks. He is known as a grounded, empathetic, and genuinely kind person to those around him. His relationship with fans never feels distant. Taehyung often shows small yet meaningful gestures, simple words of encouragement, respect, and a way of listening that feels sincere. His relationships with close friends reflect this character as well. Within his social circle, he is known as loyal and attentive. There is no distant star aura. He shows up as a human being, not an icon separated from reality. Even his care for animals frequently draws attention. His interactions with dogs, cats, and other animals reveal a gentleness rarely found in public figures of his level of fame. For many people, this is the definition of true handsomeness, when a beautiful face is paired with a kind heart. On a global level, Taehyung's position at the top has also sparked broader discussions. Are global beauty standards shifting toward Asia? Or is the world finally acknowledging something long overlooked? These questions arise not as criticism of Taehyung, but as reflections on the changing global cultural landscape. Over the past decade, Asia's influence in music, fashion, and entertainment has grown rapidly. Yet Taehyung is not merely a symbol of this trend. He is proof that appeal is universal when accompanied by authenticity. Global search data show that interest in Taehyung is not confined to any single region. From Asia and Europe to the Americas and the Middle East, his name consistently ranks at the top. Interestingly, these spikes often occur without major promotional activity. A candid photo, a brief appearance, or even a rumor of a new project is enough to move global algorithms. This points to one key fact: Taehyung's influence is intrinsic, not merely the result of external promotion. As a member of BTS, Taehyung undoubtedly carries the legacy of a group that has transformed the global music industry. Yet his individual identity stands firmly on its own. He does not fade into the group's shadow. Instead, he enriches the narrative of what it means to be a global idol. His artistic sensitivity, interest in photography, art, and emotionally nuanced music make him a complex and compelling figure. In an entertainment world that often demands rigid perfection, Taehyung shines through his human imperfections. He is unafraid to show vulnerability, unhesitant to be different, and unwilling to conform to narrow expectations of masculinity. In this sense, his handsomeness is not merely about his face, but about the courage to be himself on the world stage. That is why, when the list of the most handsome men on the planet was released in early 2026, Kim Taehyung's position at number 1 felt almost inevitable. Not because of loud fans, not because of a forced narrative, but because data, influence, and public perception consistently pointed in his direction. He is not merely a product of global beauty standards, he is part of the process that shapes them. Ultimately, the discussion of who the most handsome man in the world is will never be entirely objective. There will always be room for differing opinions, personal tastes, and cultural preferences. Yet one thing is difficult to dispute: Kim Taehyung has transcended those boundaries. He is not only seen as handsome, he is felt. And in an increasingly fast-paced, distraction-filled world, the ability to leave a deep impression without excessive effort is the rarest form of power. So when the world once again asked in early 2026 who deserved to stand at the top, the answer was not merely a name. It was a reflection of changing times, shifting values, and the recognition that true handsomeness is a fusion of face, soul, and tangible influence. In that context, Kim Taehyung is not just the most handsome man on the planet. He is a symbol of a new era,